Kitty is a global icon that can be found in everything from clothing to bags to cafes and even guitars. And despite being considered so millennial, Hello Kitty is now bigger than ever. But why? Hello Internet, welcome to Style Theory, the show that's finally ready to let the cat out of the bag. Hello Kitty is not a cat. And she's not a human either. She is a little girl. She's what Sanrio calls a Jijinka, or personification of both a cat and a human girl, while not quite being either. You know, I think Britney Spears might have written a song about something like this. All jokes aside, we need to talk about the girl of the hour, Hello Kitty, who really is having a moment. Hello Kitty is the 10th highest grossing media franchise of all time, beating out big names like Spider-Man and Batman. I know, it's shocking because most people seem to think that Hello Kitty died out in the early 2000s. But Hello Kitty never dies. Unlike trends like Beanie Babies or Webkinz, Hello Kitty has made a comeback. She's opening cafes, making record-breaking bank, and she's even partnering with the LA Dodgers. Okay, first Otani and his dog, then One Piece, now Hello Kitty. They are trying so hard to make me care about sports. But the real story about how Hello Kitty conquered the globe is a wild one. From lucky breaks to brilliant marketing and even fighting off literal Disney princesses, this is the story of how Hello Kitty went from cute mascot to Miss Worldwide. Where better to start our journey through Hello history than back where it all began in 1960. A Japanese businessman by the name of Shintaro Tsuji decided to start a little company known as the Yamanashi Silk Center Company, which, if you can't tell by the name, sold products made from silk. But the company's product catalog quickly started to expand and started to include items like rubber sandals featuring flowers, gifts with strawberries on them, and even dabbling in greeting cards. And it was through this trial process where they learned something very, very important to their future business model. Wait a minute, if we put cute items on products, people will buy them. That's genius! The company eventually changed its name to the one we know today, Sanrio, or Saint River in Spanish. Yep, the Japanese company actually has a Spanish name. They just really liked the idea of peaceful waterside town, which actually makes their Hello Kitty Island adventure game make so much sense. And the newly named Sanrio even secured the license to put Snoopy, yes, the Peanuts character Snoopy, on their products. But after seeing the success of Snoopy on products, you know, a character that Sanrio had to pay to use, they quickly realized something else. Guys, if we create our own characters, then we don't have to pay to license them. I know, I'm a genius! Sanrio began creating their own characters to put on their products, and they put it on everything from stationery to clothes to bags and pretty much anything you could stick a cute face on. But it wasn't until 1975 that they hit gold, when they debuted this clear vinyl coin purse featuring a character who needs no introduction. Which is great because I wouldn't know what to call her, because when she debuted, she didn't have a name. But that didn't last long, so everybody please say a warm hello to Kitty White. Surprise! Hello Kitty's name is not Hello Kitty. Her full government name came from one of the cats from Lewis Carroll's Through the Looking Glass, which was a favorite story of Kitty's creator, Yuko Shimizu. And once they started, Sanrio couldn't stop sprinkling in more and more lore about their new character. It's the new year, and my goal is to get back on track with my health, which, let's be real, it's not easy. Or at least it wasn't until I started using ZocDoc, who is sponsoring us for this episode. ZocDoc is a free website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and choose the right one for your needs. Listen, I hate making appointments, okay? It's a hassle, and it always feels like I'm being put through a marathon just to make one single appointment. But with ZocDoc, that marathon turns into a cakewalk. Now I can easily find and compare doctors across 150,000 providers in all 50 states. Ones who are in my area, who take my insurance, and who are actually taking new patients. Then I can instantly schedule an appointment right there on ZocDoc's website, and usually get one within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. And theorists, I've even been able to score same-day appointments. I know, I can't believe it either, but it's true. And I can do all of it without sacrificing the quality of my care. I was able to find a doctor who listened to my needs and didn't just shove me out the door to make room for the next patient. Because this year, I wanted to start taking my health seriously. I'm talking about getting a physical, finding a chiropractor to help with my horrible posture, and even updating my glasses prescription. And I know what you're thinking. Amy, you never wear glasses. Well, no I don't. Because my prescription is so out of date that it just makes my vision worse. So whether you're looking for a new primary care doctor, a dentist, a dermatologist, or just one of the other 200 specialties offered on ZocDoc, you can easily search by specialty or symptom to build a care team that's right for you. And remember, it's free. Yep, you don't have to pay anything to start taking better care of your health. So make the right choice for you and your health this year by scanning the QR code on screen, or by going to ZocDoc.com/TheStyleTheorist to book your first appointment with a top-rated doctor today. Thanks again to ZocDoc for sponsoring this episode. Now back to Hello Kitty. She's 5 apples tall, weighs 3 apples, and, as you'd expect from a Japanese mascot, Kitty was born in the suburbs of London? Once again, the Brits invade yet another of our fandoms. I'm joking. I was there for Sherlock, I know. But while it may seem very random at first, there was actually a really good reason that Sanrio decided to make Kitty British. You see, during the 1970s, Japanese society was very much into all things Britain. At the time, England was seen as this fantastical place, especially for young women and girls. We actually talk a bit about that in our Uma Musume episode. But this meant that having Kitty be from London made her even more appealing to Sanrio's core audience. If you take one thing away from this episode, it's that teen girls are the backbone of all of your favorite IPs. They are loyal and ready to spend big money on all of their favorite fandoms. Ever since her inception, Hello Kitty exploded across Japan, especially in the 80s and 90s. At its peak in 1999, Sanrio as a whole was bringing in around 140 billion yen per year, or about $900 million USD. But why? I mean, Hello Kitty wasn't from a show or a movie or a manga. She was just a character on some merch. Well, part of her success can likely be traced back to the unique culture of Japan at that time. Post-World War II, Japan's economy had decades of consistent growth. This helped the country develop a strong middle class and meant that young people had more money to spend on things like Hello Kitty stationery. Japan also had, and still has, a very strong gift-giving culture, where people are expected to give tiny but meaningful gifts to their friends, coworkers, and the like for a variety of occasions. And so for Sanrio, whose motto was literally small gift, big smile, they were ready and willing to cash in on this tradition. In fact, by the 1990s, it's said that Sanrio controlled roughly 80% of the novelty gift market in Japan. Of course, we can't ignore the other obvious reason for Hello Kitty's success. She was just so cute. In the 1970s, Japan began to have an obsession with all things kawaii, or cute. At least that's the literal translation. In reality, it can mean so much more. An old man can be kawaii, a houseplant can be kawaii, and yes, a British anthropomorphic cat can also be kawaii. Listen, her round face, big eyes, and pastel colors fit right into the growing kawaii aesthetic and culture. However, when Hello Kitty finally made her way over to the West, it wasn't love at first sight. Sanrio opened its first US subsidiary, or branch, in 1974, a whole year before Kitty would even debut in Japan. But by 1986, the US branch had already lost Sanrio over 3.6 billion yen, which is roughly $23 million USD. Ooh, big yikes. But Sanrio didn't give up. And by the mid-90s to early 2000s, Hello Kitty had finally found the recipe for success in the US. Ingredient number 1, the rise in mall culture. At the time, you could find sections of stores, or heck, even entire stores dedicated to Sanrio and full of Hello Kitty products just waiting to be bought. Instead of box lunch or that one display in Hot Topic, Sanrio Surprise was a full-blown Hello Kitty mecca for 90s kids. They sold plushies, stationery, lunchboxes, and some even had a photo booth that would print out stickers of you and your friends. Ingredient number 2, America's sudden love of Japanese culture thanks to imported animes like Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, Card Captors, Pokemon. This was literally a golden age of anime for the US, so I could keep this list going. And then there was ingredient number 3, the celebrities. Like many pop culture trends, Labubu Much of Hello Kitty's success can also be linked to the free publicity it got from American celebrities. Stars like Paris Hilton, Britney Spears, and Lady Gaga leaned hard into Hello Kitty core. Heck, Mariah Carey even turned her bathroom into a Hello Kitty wonderland. And don't even get me started on Avril Lavigne. It's been like 20 years and I am still not over it. But this sudden surge of celebrity love wasn't a coincidence. It had been part of Sanrio's plan all along. You see, Sanrio has a pretty interesting philosophy when it comes to marketing.
Guys, what if, instead of spending millions of dollars on old school TV ads that no one watches, we just send our products to the celebrities that would be in those ads and they promote us for free? I know, I'm a genius.
Actually, it was. By using these tactics, Hello Kitty literally took over the world, expanding not just in Japan and the US, but all across Europe, Asia, and North America. But while Hello Kitty took off faster than a roller coaster at Six Flags, her fall was just as quick. At its peak in 1999, Sanrio was living large. The company was bringing in around $64 million in sales from North America, on top of the almost $1 billion they were already making back home in Japan. But only 5 years later, their Japanese sales had already fallen by nearly 36%. And by 2009, their US sales had all but evaporated. So what killed the the anthropomorphic cat? The short answer was time. Hello Kitty has always had a brand primarily targeted towards younger girls. So as those girls grew up, many of them saw Hello Kitty as a reminder of their childhood, which is a death sentence. Listen, there is nothing worse to someone who's trying to show the world that they've grown up than the things that they thought were cool when they were a kid. And trends start to shift towards things like Bratz, which replaced that pink and cutesy aesthetic with something more edgy and cool. And with that, you saw the love of that kawaii culture fade away. And it didn't help that with the rise of the internet and online shopping, malls, you know, the one place that you could meet Hello Kitty IRL, started to dry up and die out. But it wasn't all due to outside forces. The call, as they say, was coming from inside the house. By the late 2000s, Sanrio was putting out something like 600 new products each and every month. And it didn't stop there. They were also licensing out their characters to other companies to put on their products. In total, these made up around half of the company's revenue. But when you oversaturate the market, you start to run into problems. First, you start to burn out your audience. In general, each potential customer only has a finite amount of money to spend at any given time. So if you're releasing a new item every few hours, suddenly your customers are having to pick and choose what they can afford. And you, the company, start to see less and less return with each additional item coming out. And then you have to consider who your market actually is. Like, sure, you can release Hello Kitty motor oil or a Hello Kitty fire extinguisher, but is that going to appeal to the people looking to spend money on your product? Probably not, or at least not a large portion of that audience. And speaking of oversaturation, by the 2010s, Hello Kitty was far from the only character competing for a slice of the cutie pie. Brands like Pokemon, Disney, and even a rival company called SanX, no relation, were coming for Hello Kitty's crown. In fact, by 2010, Hello Kitty wasn't even the most popular Sanrio character anymore. Instead, that top slot went to the hopping My Melody. But it wasn't the bunny that drove the final nail into Hello Kitty's coffin. That honor went to the mouse. When Disney's Frozen was first released in 2013, it was a game changer in girls' merchandising. Retail stores like Walmart and Toys R Us were suddenly swapping their Hello Kitty shelves for rows and rows of Anna and Elsa. This caused Sanrio's sales to dry up almost overnight. Dang, Olaf just up and stole Hello Kitty's lunch money. And this should have been where her story came to a quiet yet inevitable end. But Hello Kitty is not a girl to lay down and let someone else take her crown. Not only was Hello Kitty determined to survive, she wanted to thrive. Hello Kitty and all of Sanrio had to make some big changes, and it had to start all the way at the top. In June 2020, after 60 years as the head of Sanrio, Shintaro Tsuji stepped down as CEO to make room for a new face, his grandson Tomokuni Tsuji. At just 31 years old, Tomokuni was not just young for a CEO, he was the youngest CEO of any company listed on the Japanese stock exchange. But he wasn't just CEO, he was also the new president. And this president was ready to shake things up. Tomokuni refreshed the executive suite, bringing in new, younger talent that lowered the average age of the company from 65 to a spry 50. Their first goal was to figure out who exactly Hello Kitty's audience actually was now. Or should I say audiences? One of Hello Kitty's core markets has and always will be kids. But this new generation wasn't really vibing with Sanrio's old school approach. And so they had to figure out how to meet their new audience where they wanted to hang out. Over the last few years, Hello Kitty has rolled out collaborations with Roblox and Minecraft and even revamped their YouTube channel to bring in the next generation of Hello Kitty fans. But they never truly forgot their OGs. The kids that grew up with them and made their brand what it was in the first place. And so they had to figure out if Sanrio could grow up with them. They turned to popular brands like Starbucks, Uniqlo, Crocs, Adidas, Converse, Casetify, Balenciaga, any and all places where their old fans were suddenly spending their new adult money. They even made stuff for your human babies and your fur babies. But there was one problem with this strategy. It could once again lead to an oversaturated market and another decline in sales. So how could Sanrio try and carve a new path? They did it by appealing to the one thing that a social media loving generation loves more than a bag charm: experiences. Over in Japan, you can find Hello Kitty theme parks, full stage productions, and of course, cafes, and more cafes. And they've brought a ton of those Hello Kitty cafes and food trucks here to the US. Yet, the real key to saving Hello Kitty and preserving its legacy and the legacy of Sanrio for years to come required Sanrio to do something a little crazy. They had to let go of their star. As Sanrio has admitted, a huge reason that their brand almost died out was that they had put all of their eggs in one cat-shaped basket: Kitty White. No tea, no shade. Hello Kitty is undeniably an amazing character. She's just not for everyone. And over the past few years, Sanrio has spent a ton of time and money celebrating its larger family of equally amazing characters like Kuromi, Pom Pom Purin, Cinnamon Roll, and Gudetama. And it worked. Nowadays, over half of Sanrio's licensing deals don't even involve Hello Kitty. And in 2024, Sanrio managed to achieve record high profits, reversing a 7-year-long decline. But what does Hello Kitty herself have to say about this new approach? Well, according to her official statement on Sanrio's website, she thinks that you can never have too many friends. So I'd say she's pretty happy that her friends are now getting their flowers. And that bag. But hey, that's just a theory. A style theory. Keep looking sharp. Up next on Style Theory. Lisa Frank is loved for its oversaturated colors, maximalist designs, and of course, its adorable characters. But its real legacy isn't as cute. It is a story of betrayal, a toxic work environment, and someone getting evicted from their home.